Hey guys, this is my Last Jedi review. I'm Dave, and yeah, I've seen it 2 times. I watched it Thursday night at the premiere, and then I seen it last night, Friday night, and I liked it a lot better the second time seeing it around. When I first seen it, I was really confused. I really did not know what I thought about it. I was kind of in shock because I was expecting a lot of some stuff and basically got one thing that I was expecting from it, and it flew me off guard. And because they take a lot of risks, I don't really mention that a lot in this review, that they took a lot of risks for it. And I want to mention too, this is going to be a very heavily spoiler review. So if people haven't seen the movie yet, just be warned. It's just pretty much spoilers. So okay, back onto it. It was really confusing at first for me. I had to think about it a lot, and I didn't know if I liked it or not. And then I went and seen it again with some friends last night, and I was just blown away. I was like, okay. I still had the same problems that I had before with it, but wasn't nearly as much problems as I mean, not nearly as much, but the problems didn't outweigh the good stuff. The good stuff outweighed the problems. And that's what I really liked about it. And I'm gonna start with the bad things about it first that I didn't really like about it. And then I'm gonna get into the good things that I really liked about it. And remember, this is all spoilers, so. Some of the bad things that I had about it was that some of the comedy moments just didn't really land for me. There was some good comedy moments, and I'll get into that in the good parts, but most of it kind of was like, they were trying a little too hard for the comedy. I don't really know why either, because Force Awakens seemed like they had good comedy in there, and I think they kind of understood that that's the good comedy they should have in there, but I guess they maybe just wanted to go over with comedy. I don't know. I didn't really think it needed all that comedy in there. It didn't really fit that much for it to me, but it's alright because some did. Some comedy did work. And something else that I didn't really like about the movie was the Finn and Rose's storyline. I liked the characters. The dumbass characters were pretty nice. But I just didn't like their storyline. I thought it was just kind of filler. It was just basically taking up time. It could have lasted just like 10 minutes. But it went on for like 20 minutes into the movie. And it just took out so much time that we could have had more with Rey training with Luke that I thought. Or had more backstory, like visions and all that. They could have dealt more with that stuff, but I don't know. It didn't land for me that well, and I thought that whole casino planet was kind of, didn't really like it. I mean, I understand that some of it had to do with, like, the kid getting the ring and all that. I understand that has to do a lot with, back after the movie's, like, about to be done with at the ending, but again, you could have put all that stuff in there, but shortened out and made it more interesting. Instead, they just, they bloated it and just made it be really non-interesting. And, like, when I get the Blu-ray of it, it'll be one of the scenes where I just want to fast forward with it. So, yeah, that's 2 things that I didn't like about it. And I think I really only have one other thing that I didn't like about it, and it actually does bother me a lot, was Snoke's death. And the reason why it bothered me a lot was because I don't know if they intentionally did this. They might have not intentionally did this. Could be me just being dumb, but it bothered me how I was so hyped out, and a lot of people were hyped up about Snoke. Like, who is he? Why is this dude so mysterious? And then not Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, they're hyping him even more up, like, earlier on in the movie, as he's so powerful. He's probably even more powerful than the Emperor. And all this, and even the actor, Andy Serkis, was going around saying, yeah, he's really powerful, he's been around since, before the Empire started, and after the Empire, and they just start hyping him up, and then they just kill him off. And that's the end of it. There's no more Snoke. That's like, that's crappy, but I like the stuff that follow after that, but I don't know, I didn't really like that. And there's something else that bothered me, too, about that. Well, it didn't really bother me, but I would have thought it would have been even more of like a risky move, but I would have appreciated it, but I'm okay with it not in there, but it still would have been a cool little ad. If Rey would have actually went with Kylo, my bad, but if Rey would have went with Kylo, that would have been some ballsy, risky moves. And they could have ended off right there, and I'm like, oh! But then bring Rey back in episode 9, that to good, and they could have done something like that or so, because I wouldn't want Rey to be, bad all the time, but I felt like if they were already going that far to where they killed Snoke, and then her and Kylo just had this huge team-up fight, they should have went the whole way and just had Rey turn bad, at least as for the ending of it. That would have been something interesting. But I'm okay with them not doing it. And that's pretty much all the bad stuff I have for it. Now I'm gonna get into the good parts that I loved. I loved Poe's storyline. I thought they really, really made Poe a better character. He was... In Force Awakens, I still liked him, but it's like we didn't get much of him in Force Awakens. We kind of got his personality somewhat in Force Awakens. We got a few scenes with him. But in this one, we actually get to see that, no, he's the trigger-happy guy. He's the flyboy. He's the guy that wants to blow the ships up and be like, yeah, that's Poe. And he's awesome in this. And, like, you actually get why he's disobeying orders from the Vice Admiral. And it's really good. I feel like they're really grooming him. Well, Leia, actually. And here you can see that Leia's grooming him to be the new general, to be the new her place where she's at. And I think that's awesome. Because Poe's an awesome character, and I can't wait to see more of him. Something else that I loved in here was Luke, Rey's, and Kylo's storyline. What they did with Luke, Rey, and Kylo, I thought was just beautiful. It was great. It was awesome. It was perfect. They completely went in the perfect direction. I thought it was great. What they did with Kylo, they basically made Kylo not Darth Vader anymore. Again, in The Force Awakens, I know a lot of people complain. It didn't bother me, but for a lot of people, it bothered them that Kylo was too much like Darth Vader and all that. But in this, Kylo is becoming himself. Kylo, he wants the power. He knows that the power's bad, and he knows that he shouldn't have it, but he just wants it. He doesn't care. He's just like, I don't care. I want the power. I want to be the big dude. I want to be the big dude in charge. I think that's why he eventually ended up killing Snoke, was because he realized how Snoke was keeping putting him down and calling him boy and basically being nice to him if he obeyed him, and that was really it. And he got sick and tired of it. I was like, no, I want the leadership. I deserve it. I need it. And then he took it. I love what they did with Luke, with how Luke went from Return of the Jedi to here. It's a complete arc, which is great, because after 30 years of having an experience, you're going to be different. You're not going to be the same person you were 30 years ago, and up to now, it's not going to happen. And I really like how they did that, because in ending of Return of the Jedi, Luke was a hopeful hero. He was a really powerful hero, never turning bad, always having hope. And here you see a lot of shit happen to where he just excluded himself from the Force. He went on his island just to die. He doesn't want Rey there. And the first scene when Rey hands him the lightsaber, he takes it and he just throws it behind his back and walks away. I thought that was awesome. And he goes in his thing, and Rey starts banging on the door, asking for him, and he just keep on telling her to go away, go away. And then Chewie busts out the door, and he's like, Chewie, where's Han? It was great. I love the scene of him going to the Millennium Falcon, and then R2 coming over, and then kind of talking him into training Rey, and showing him the video of Leia, and he goes, that was a cheap move. That was and he was saying the truth. That's a cheap move, R2, but that's R2 for you. And I love that. And I love the Rey character. Because I didn't think this, but a lot of people were saying that Rey was too much Mary Sue, and she was too much Luke Skywalker, and all that. But and here, you find that Rey she's her own person. and she's real. I really like the character of Rey. Like, I really like what they're doing with her. It's really awesome, and I can't wait to see where she goes in episode 9. I still wish we would have got a little bit more of her training, but maybe that's just me because I get nerded out when I see that stuff. But I loved her and Luke's storyline together, and I loved what they did with how Snoke was manipulating their minds, and Kylo and her could see each other. Kind of serious. That was happening. They could see each other, but not like their surroundings and stuff. And then they ended up touching hands, and he told Rey the truth about what happened, why he betrayed Luke, because Luke was gonna kill him. And he woke up to see that, and he defended himself, and then he ended up taking a dozen of Luke's Jedi and killing the rest and burning the temple down. And then we end up finding out later what really happened was that Luke could sense that Snoke was taking over Kylo, and he was manipulating Kylo. And Luke mentioned that he's human. It made Luke feel so much human because Luke mentioned that he had a moment of weakness. He had a moment of scared and weakness and fear, and for a second he was gonna do something, and then it clicked in his head like, no, this is not right, but before it was too late. And Kylo already noticed it, and it was too late for Luke to be like, no, I can't. I wasn't mean to do that. And then Kylo attacked him and took his Jedi and killed the rest. And that was I love that. I love that whole story. I was like, oh man, how you get it. And Luke always mentioning that, how he's Luke Skywalker, the legend. Like, mocking himself because he's saying, like, it's being put on this pedestal as the legend, as a legendary Jedi and all that. And it takes a toll on you because no one's perfect. Everyone is human at the end of the day. And we make mistakes and shit happens. And I loved that. I loved what they did with that. And I love with Kylo how his whole arc of, like I said that earlier, his whole arc of becoming actually who he is. And I remember in the trailer how he's doing that little talk, and when the movie found out he's talking to Rey, but still how he's doing that talk in the trailer. That, let your past die, kill it if you have to. It's the only way to become who you're meant to be. That was it was great. I loved it because it shows where his mindset is. He wants to kill his past. He doesn't want anything to do with his past. All he wants is power. He wants to be the top dog, and he wants power. And that is so great because it's so different than any other Star Wars villain. Because every other Star Wars villain is basically like, oh, they're trying to do something to this or this. So even Palpatine had different reasonings to why he became bad, but he was mostly just evil. Kylo is just... has some shit happen to him, but he knows he doesn't deserve it. He knows what he's doing is bad. He knows that all this shit, but he's just like, I don't care. This is who I am. This is what I want to be. This is what I'm going to do. But everyone else thinks that they're the good guys. They think that what they're doing is good. They have all these reasons why they're doing what they're doing. Power, protecting the galaxy, saving the ones you love. They all have reasonings for what they are doing. Kylo is just straight up, I know that I'm fucked up. I know that I'm killing all these people. I know that I'm doing messed up things. But you know what? That's who I am. That's who I am. So be it. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to take that lightsaber because it's mine. I'm going to kill Snoke and then take his place as Supreme Leader. I'm going to choke freaking Hux, which I still think Hux is I like having him around because he's kind of like the dude who you can just push around and mess around. He still gets back up. He's all snotty about it, but then you just push him around again. And I loved what they did with Kylo. I thought it was great, perfect, excellent. And I can't wait to see where he's at in Episode 9. Like, where he's at it's going to be awesome. I hope. And something else that I loved about it was Carrie Fisher as Leia. I think this is probably one of the best performances since Empire Strikes Back of Carrie's version of Leia. I think she nailed the role. It was beautiful, perfect, and I know it sucks to say because it's just still so hard to mention that it happened, but Carrie Fisher passing away, and this was a really good send-off for her. And it was really good, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. that one scene where she got, when the thing exploded and she went flying out of space, my jaw dropped. I was like, oh my god. That's what happened. They're killing her off. I was so sold. But then she came back, and at first I had a problem with that. I had a problem with her coming back and all that in the very first time viewing it. And then I seen it a second time, I was like, I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm happy that they did that. So I really liked what they did with that. And I loved what with Leia. And I loved it. It was really great. I don't know what they're going to do. It makes me nervous for episode 9 with her. But something else that I loved about it was Mark Hamill's performance as Luke. His performance as Luke, I thought, was the best performance he's ever given as Luke Skywalker. Maybe ever in his life that he's ever played in a role. I think this was the best. He nailed it, and it was so good and so different and so great. Like, oh my god, so believable, too. It was great. It was absolutely perfect. And the ending when he... Oh my god, I love that when he goes and faces off against Kylo Ren, and then him and Kylo are fighting, and he just brushes the dust off his shoulder and all that. Even though that's him not really there, I was sold at first that was him there. I honestly thought it was. I wasn't paying attention, and then it ends up showing that he wasn't there. He was using some awesome force power to transfer himself there. I was like, oh shit, okay, that's awesome. And then after that, he told him, see you around, kid. I love that. I love that. And it was a great send-off to him, you know. I thought it was awesome. No one technically murdered Luke. No one killed him. He just became one with the Force himself like Yoda. He was just like a Yoda. He became one with the Force by himself because he knew his time was over. And he had to give the spark to Rey. Rey's a new leader, whether she becomes a Jedi or she Rey becomes something else, which I'm pretty sure she's becoming a Jedi. I wish she would have became something else, but oh well, I still liked how it turned out. And I thought it was great. It was awesome. Something else I loved about it was some of the comedy did land a lot. Like, it really landed really good with the comedy. Not a lot, like I mentioned earlier, some of the comedy sucked. But like in the beginning with Poe and the whole, I'm on hold and stuff with Hux and all, I thought that was great. That chewing and eating a pork scene I thought was great. I loved how when near the end when Kylo's giving orders to the men and then Hux comes right after him and gives the same exact orders where he's like copying off him, and then one scene Kylo looks at him like I thought that was funny. I don't know, it made me laugh. Some people might not laugh for it, but it landed for me on that. And yeah, some of the comedy was pretty good. Now, last thing that I really want to mention in this that I loved is that this movie took more risks than any Star Wars movie has done. It took in big risks, went in different directions, and did stuff that no one was expecting and flew people off guard. Like, wow. And you gotta give them credit for that. Because most people will play safe. Like, I love Force Awakens, but they played it safe. And I loved it, but they played it safe. This time, they went a completely different direction, and I thought it was great. And I'm pretty sure this movie is gonna. As I already could tell, it's getting very divided reviews. The critics love it. Some people love it. Some people don't like it. And like I said, I didn't like it the first time around, but I seen it a second time and I loved it. I want to go see it a third time around. I bet I'll even love it even more a third time around. And so I advise people, if you didn't like it at first, you should give it a second chance. Give it a second chance. You might like it a little better. Anyways, that's my whole review, and I hope you guys liked it, and leave a like, comment, subscribe to me, and I'll probably be posting more videos coming up soon, hopefully, and yeah, so stay tuned.